Welcome to the West Ham Voice. My name is Stel. If you're new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe, like, and bell notifications to let you know when I'm next on. A short show on the players on international duty and focus a little bit on Vladimir Coufal. As you know, we've got quite a lot of players, both in the academy and in the senior squads that are out on international duty. And some players have already played some games. First up, Ollie Scholes has made his England under-18s debut, where he was a 61st minute substitute in the 2-1 win over Croatia. Scholes could be in action again this Friday, where he may get a start in the game against Belgium. They're both friendly games, so well done to Ollie Scholes for making his international debut in the under-18s. Divine Mbama was also in action, where he starred for England under-19s in a 1-0 win over Hungary. This was a qualifier game for the uefa under-19s European Championship finals. Mbama is likely to be in the starting lineup again when we play Iceland on Saturday. And yes, that is Sonny Perkins next to him, but we know who the better player is, don't we? Next up, Josh Briggs. He was in action in the starting lineup for Northern Ireland's under-17s team in another under-17s European Championship qualifier against the Netherlands. Northern Ireland unfortunately lost 2-1 and they conceded a very late goal in the game. Under-18s goalie Finlay Herrick was also an unused sub for England under-17s England team, who beat Denmark 3-1 in another under-17s European qualifier. What about senior level? Well, we've been told that Gianluca Scamacca is likely to be a starter in the game between Italy and England played tonight on Thursday night. Also, Italy's Emerson is in the squad. And could also play some game time in that game. And of course, they'll be facing Declan Rice for England. It's been more or less confirmed that Scamacca is going to be in the starting lineup, and it's going to be very interesting to see how Mancini uses the player, how he sets him up, whether he has players in and around him, what formation he might play, whether he has one behind, three up front or two up front, etc. And it's going to be quite interesting to see how he's going to be set up. And hopefully David Moyes is watching to maybe get some hints as to how to get the best out of Gianluca Scamacca. But if David Moyes doesn't know yet how to get the best out of him, I guess he never will do. So in what's likely to be a very hostile environment in Naples, Declan Rice has laid down the gauntlet for England to deliver, especially on Italian soil. This is going to be our fourth visit to Italy since the Euros, and we've yet to win there. Rice is looking at the next two England games as a springboard to improve his form in the Premier League, which he himself has not been to the levels expected. He talked about the pressure of the next game against Southampton when we return from international duty. But despite it being a massive game, he's looking forward to it and embracing the pressure. So let's hope these next two England games will do him and all the other players on international duty some good. But of all the players that have been called up for international duty, probably the one that's caused maybe a little bit more upset or anger and anxiety is that of Vladimir Coufal, who's been called into the Czech Republic team. As we know, Coufal has missed the last 5 West Ham games because of a heel injury that we've been told requires rest and recuperation and could potentially take anything up to 6 months to even a year to recover from completely. So that it was quite a surprise that Coufal was called into the Czech Republic team to play to face Poland and Moldova in 2 UEFA European qualifiers on Friday and Monday, respectively. Now, whilst it's evident that Coufal has returned to some very good form for West Ham of late, making our defence more solid and reliable down the right-sided defence, it's also evident that his absence has created he's been sorely missed because of his absence and because of the injury. So it came as a bit of a surprise, to be quite honest with you, that he was called up for the Czech Republic. And it's of no surprise that West Ham are a little bit perturbed by the call-up itself. And if rumours are anything to go by, the Czech Republic coach Jaroslav Sulhavi has suggested that he has every intention of selecting Coufal for the forthcoming games. As we know, Coufal was subbed in the 4-0 win over Nottingham Forest and has not even returned to training for West Ham United. So it's of a great concern with the heavy fixture pile-up that we've got coming up in April that he's been selected. If anything happens to Coufal in the next two games playing for the Czech Republic, that's going to cause an awful lot of discontent and unrest. We've got a very busy schedule, as I said. We've got two European, two quarterfinals in the Europa Conference League, and we've also got 7 Premier League games to play. And one would have thought that maybe Coufal might be rested for the European games, but certainly for in the 7 games, we'd want him to take part in as many, if not all, those Premier League games. Now, according to Silhavi, medical staff and the national team, they've been in regular communication with West Ham United over the player's fitness, and the Czech staff have reported that Coufal is improving. So basically, they knew they were calling up an injured player, knowing that any kind of aggravation to the injury could see him out for a longer period of time when he returns to West Ham United. Now, of course, with so many players on international duty, we're kind of hoping that it's not just Coufal that's going to get through unscathed, but all the players that are out on duty hopefully come back with no injuries as well. But West Ham, do they have any right, or does any domestic club have any right to say that a player should not be called up for international duty? Well, they can say so, but the bottom line is that the national team's medical staff have the right to assess the player themselves and make their own judgment call as to whether the player is fit enough to play for their country or not. And this is what's happening with Coufal. They're checking him. They're talking about the improvements he's making, and they're suggesting, it seems, that Coufal is going to play. I'm worried, but not just for Coufal, but I'm worried about every player that goes on international duty. We've had our fair share in the past of players picking up injuries that have, some of them have seen the end of their careers because of international duty. So there's a big concern with all our players, but much more so with Vladimir Coufal. If he plays and he aggravates that heel injury, he could miss quite a number of games in the running, in the relegation running at West Ham United, and that ain't going to go down too well. Yes, clubs have domestic clubs have there's a compensation scheme involved if any player picks up an injury on international duty. But what good is that to us if we'd rather have the player himself rather than any financial compensation? What this does sort of suggest, mind you, is that when the summer transfer window opens, no matter what league we're in, we've got to improve our defensive backup. We need another right back, we need another left back as well as other players on in the squad too. But all eyes are going to be on Vladimir Coufal and the games that the Czech Republic play. If he plays in the game on Friday against Poland, and he gets through that and then plays against Moldova again on Monday night, that's two games in very quick succession. And there's going to be a hell of a lot of concern as to whether he gets through both of those and comes back able to play for West Ham in our game against Southampton and all the other games in April. Anyway, for all the games that are coming up, like I said, Declan Rice, Scamacca, and possibly Emerson are likely to appear in the game between Italy and England on Thursday night. That's tonight. I'll bring you up to date on all those and all the other West Ham players that are on international duty over the coming days. Thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, like I said, please do hit the like and subscribe button and hit the bell notification to let you know when I'm next on. There will be a Friday late night coming up. If you know about that sort of show, do look out for that on Friday night. And thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all very soon.